Another good friend of the show. And I swear, Madison, if I tried to read people's bios from point to point, it would take up their entire segment. So I will keep this short and honorable. Elisabeth Barna is incredibly respected in the trucking and logistics industry. She has over 35 years of involvement, and I mean involvement. In 2023, she founded EAB Strategies, LLC, a transportation and logistics consulting business where she brings her expertise and passion to storytelling, strategic communications, marketing, relationships building, professional driver and employee retention, and leadership development. In other words, Elisabeth gathers all the information, all that data, all those bits and pieces, and fastens them into one great coherent story about the men and women who actually make America move. And she has been a great friend to Dave Nemo and to everyone here at Nemo Nation. Good morning to you, Elisabeth.
Good morning, Jimmy Mack. How are you?
I'm good. It's Dave that's got the COVID, but me,
I heard that.
I'm doing just fine. He's okay. I talked to him yesterday, and he was like, maybe I should just come in for a little bit. And I went, you out of your mind? I'm like, what are you crazy?
No.
I said, get on the chat. Go chat to people. I said, we have this new format now. You can just jump in and say hey at some point. I said, get your rest, get your
Oh,
fluids. He's hanging in there. How are you?
I am good. I'm so sorry I missed last week. I already had something planned, and I just I was thinking about you guys, and I heard it was a blast.
It was, and here's more good news. We're going to have about three of them a year. The next one is going to
Oh,
be
good.
more music driven, where Lindsay has come up with an idea called Nashville to NOLA, where she's going to bring down a bunch of Nashville artists. I've got some contacts, some that she's made as well here, and we're going to do these mix and mashups of these musicians from both cities and kind of combine their styles. And then next year, do the same thing, but up in Nashville and bring the NOLA artists. So you got to be, we'll let
Oh,
you.
that sounds great.
We'll keep you in the loop on that. So, what is going on out there? What have you been looking at? What you've been scheming? What you've been dreaming? And what you've been seeing?
Oh my goodness. There's a lot going on out there. I'm excited though. First, I heard you guys are going to the Texas meeting, one of my very favorite meetings. So you should have a good time. Bid on a lot of things at the auction. That's always that's always great fun too.
Madness. It's
Um,
madness. Those big handlebar mustache guys in the boots running around and pointing at people while the women in the sequin dresses have even louder voices. It's amazing. I love it.
I just love it. That's right. They have the one thing I did want to just mention is they have a great emerging leaders council, and you see those are popping up throughout the states and throughout all associations. I had started the one at ATA, the lead ATA program. Texas has the Emerging Leaders Council, and they've got a great one there. Theirs has been going on for probably I'd say close to 10 years, if not more. And they're very active at that foundation dinner as well. So look out for them. But I just started one with the National Industrial Transportation League, the Knit League folks. Those are the shippers. So those are, we're starting to get the younger generation, the newer generation into the trucking industry, into the shipping and logistics industry. And I think that's really important. ATA just announced that Dan Horvath is the new Chief Operating Officer over at ATA, and he is a lead ATA graduate. He was under in one of the classes that we had when I was at ATA, and so congratulations to Dan. Also a Pennsylvanian, so good friend of mine too. But it is fun to see that lead or that emerging leader class is starting to show up in positions now that are going to be coming, the true future of the industry. And so I think that's important. Dan also is a CDL holder for those drivers listening out there, which I think is really important when you're talking about trucking.
It's interesting too because Connor Friedberg is going to be one of the people joining us over in our time in Austin, and he actually got his start at TXTA through their leadership, through their emerging
See,
leadership program. And that's the truth of the matter, right? I mean, that is such a big thing. Is that a lot of people after, and I'm not going to name any specific people, but over the last decade or so, we've had a problem with not you and me because we're still youngsters at heart. A lot of people, a lot of geezers in golf pants, what is it? My friend calls it founder syndrome, where they won't give way to the next generation. And I always tell people if you don't give way to the next generation, you might not like the next generation that shows up to take it from you. you might want to actually cultivate people who can take over and continue the traditions that you began. And that program that you started, those programs that you kind of run, that's what it's about. It's about setting up that no one is indispensable, that, we don't have the problem of the indispensable man or the indispensable woman, right?
Absolutely. And I think taking them, mentoring them, teaching them sort of the tricks of the trade, and you can even take that down to a different level as well as, the driver, the professional driver level, when you bring in the younger driver, or your son or your daughter and teaching them as well, it's the same thing. It is in any industry or any type of job you have, bringing in a younger generation or emerging leader there. You've got to teach them because they've got new ideas too, and the ones that I'm learning from in the shipper industry with these this is their first group, but they are I'm like, wow, they're brilliant. But they have some really good ideas, and people are listening to them. The generation that's getting ready to retire, they're like, wow, why didn't we think of that? No, they didn't think of it because the technology wasn't there or things like that. But putting both of the minds together can really come out with some really good results.
I love the fact that and I had the same thought. I love the fact for our friends out there listening who own small trucking companies or even just one or two trucks who do I pass this on to? And by the way, the greatest thing about the American experiment is that most countries up until this country existed didn't know how to hand over executive power. We didn't know how to do it. I mean, the world didn't know how to
Right.
do it, and America shows up and said, "Here's an idea. You get to go away." We basically we sunset you. We say that's enough, and you get to go away. And it's prevented nepo babies. It's prevented a lot of that stuff from happening here. And it's really kind of groovy, the idea that a lot of our friends listening to these models can apply them to actually being truckers. Train the next person. Make sure they follow the patterns of success that you followed, and then be open to their ideas when they get their hands on the new technology that you may not actually be able to figure out. I mean, it really is a collaboration, right?
Absolutely. It really is. And you look at, all the new technology in the trucks now or the platforms that are coming out, for, say, the safety or for the operations folks. Um, just even over the past 2 or 3 years, the advancements that they have made is really, with AI and everything else, is really remarkable. And the efficiencies that can come from that has been really helpful. I was at a conference recently where they said, oh, AI has taken away, say 120,000 jobs, and everybody was like, oh, but it has also created like 210,000 jobs. So they may take away some of the manual jobs, but it's created, additional thinking jobs or additional creativity jobs and things like that. So, you have to always listen to what's next. And I think that's also true in turning over the next leaf or the next power is, you know, mentor, learn from the mentee, but also give your, experience, advice, and what you have learned over the years, and just make us better.
I will give Dave your best wishes, by the way. Really quickly about EAB Strategies, LLC. They provide communications and marketing expertise to transportation and logistics companies, as well as program development for companies seeking to grow their brand and image. There's a lot more in there. Elisabeth, where can they find out more about you?
You can just Google me, Elisabeth Barna, or go to my LinkedIn page.
We love having you on. I will tell Dave you said hello, and I will tell
Yep,
him you said to get better. Thank you, Elizabeth.
great. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Um,
Stay safe.
Thank you so much, by the way, Elizabeth.